Hello, Snoo2 here. We realised that we can actually assemble quite a bit of the model car thingy now, so we're going to do that. So we've got day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 laid out, and I'm going to start sticking bits together. I think it'll probably be mostly a time lapse, this thing. Let's get the instructions down. Okay, day 1 and day 2. Oh, I'm doing it in the wrong end. That would make things probably go a bit smoother if I did it the right way around. Okay, so that just goes on like that, I guess. Yeah, so that isn't actually secured at all. It's not this one, is it? Nope. Day 3 was a screwdriver. I'm going to use my own nice screwdriver because, you know, might as well. So this looks like it's the time when things actually start attaching together, is when we get this bracket out. So that goes on there. Whoopsie daisy. Once this is placed on top, I'll bring you in a bit closer, eh? Okay, so that's this thing actually captive on there now. And then I'm going to guess it's the same thing on this side. So this must be the front. That does the steering. So that goes on. I don't know where the legs are meant to go, but that will go a little bit something like that. And then day 6, you can put the next piece on. Pop-a-up. Oopsie daisy. Helps if you put the screws in the right holes, of course. Okay, so that's the front and the rear axles attached. Okay, and then we've got to plug in some wires. They're giving us a very little tiny picture. Ah, okay. So this is day 7, that's day 8. I've got that backwards. Okay. Okay, so we've got these little parts which are going to secure the ball joints at each end. So these would appear to drop somehow into that space. Oh god, that's awkward. Right, okay. You have to sort of lift the whole thing up while you're doing this, so that drops in there. And this one drops in on this side. And that'll hold the two sort of back ball joints in the right place. Drop in the screws. Go on camera, you can do it. Apologies, I've left you in autofocus. Let's fix that quickly. Okay, so now we've got to put the wires in. It's going to be incredibly fiddly by the looks of things. Yeah, okay. So they've given us a little bit of strain relief, which is nice, and then this connector goes in the near side, and then that goes yeah, okay, so you've got to squeeze these connectors through tiny little gaps. Little bloody things to go in. There we go. That plugs in over there. I'll settle that in as well. Okay. Next thing is the suspension. So we've got suspension rods and more screws. Hooray! chucked those everywhere. Awesome. Okay, so it looks like the suspension goes on. Oh, crikey. Oh, now this is going to be exciting. These are sprung, obviously sprung loaded. So you're going to sort of force them in, I guess. Is that the right? That's the right orientation. Try not to make a right bloody mess of it while I'm on. Yeah. I've got that one backwards according to the pictures, so let's do it that way around. These are really incredibly awkward to put on. Because the springs make it so that everything wants to jump away from you whenever you're trying to do the 17 things at once that this requires you to do. Also awkward because see they're just self-tapping screws, so you can't just drop them in the hole. He's dropped it. So that's suspension for the front axle. Helps sort of keep it stiff and gives it some springiness. And I guess we repeat the same process on the rear axle. Oh, yeah, okay. So part of the reason I'm having such a hard time with these is that the screwdriver they've provided and the screwdriver I was using are both too small for these screws. That's in. I've got to do the awkward squeeze. They're both in the right place, and then we carry on. Okay, so we now have full suspension. So the two ends bounce up and down. Check all of those are tight. So the last part we've got is this servo motor, which screws on top of, I guess, this here in this position. Now we're a little bit confused about this because we've got the drive motor on the rear axle, we've got steering on the front axle, so I'm not sure what this is actually going to do. So it seems like we've got three motory thingies. So I guess something's going to do something at some point. It's not clear looking at the model what it does though. I guess we'll find out once we've built the thing. Okay, so these should be nice and simple. Okay, so that takes a bit of squeezing to get it to go together. Which is not what you want. Cheap, shitty plastic parts, but that's what we've got. Right, this needs to plug in. I guess that comes. Got another connector to squeeze through. plugs into the nice colour-coded red connector. Smush it all together. Okay, so that was 20 minutes of me driving self-tapping screws into plastic and plugging in 3 cables. Hopefully Snowy has done something to make that slightly less boring, like cut the whole thing out. But anyway, I'll show you what we've got. So we've got rear axle, that's got the motor that drives the whole thing along. We've got the front axle, which steers. We've got mystery servo motor here at the front. Not quite sure what that's going to control yet, but that's there at the front axle. We've got the whole centre of the thing on suspension, so it all can twist around and do exciting movements. And got the battery compartment on the bottom. So that's where we are as of day 9. So yeah, that's Snow 2 signing off. Bye bye. Hi everyone, Snow 2 here. Ready to assemble the rest of the RC Advent Calendar car. So this is what we built last time, and we've got onwards. I think we got to day 10 last time. So sorry, we got to day 9 last time. So this is day 10 all the way through to day 24. So it looks like we've basically done all of the power control system stuff here, and now it's assembling the bodywork and the wheels. So, oh, there's the instruction sheet. I've got the big old instruction sheet off the front of the thing, and I'm going to start putting it all together. I'll leave that down there. Right, so I'm going to make myself just a little bit of room, so I've actually got a surface to work on. I think I can roughly remember the order that the bits go on. Shut that thing out of the way. And get to it. So the first part we have is the steering linkage. So it turns out this thing is actually 4-wheel drive, so there's a motor in the front axle and a motor in the rear axle, and then we've got a servo on the front which actually pulls the front steering axle around. So we've got this linkage which ties the servo onto the front steering axle. So I'll get the bits out. I'm going to bring you in a bit closer so you can see a bit closer what's going on. Is that in focus? I hope that's in focus. Come on camera, you can do it. It's not that hard. There we go. Right, so is there a particular way around this goes? Instructions really aren't clear. How's this going together? Ah, okay. Yep, so this has a perfectly round end and like an oval end. I think the oval end is there so that if it hits a rock or something like that and the steering gets jerked, it doesn't transfer that force all hard into the steering control and just smash the motor gears up. Gives it a little bit of slack. Try and hold it faintly still while I actually do it with the screw. Ugh. Very tricky to do. So that was day 10. Day 11 is the seats, I think. Oh no, I see, it's the front like guard, I guess. Front bumpery type thing. So that just goes there, and we'll need the smaller. I'll need the smaller screwdriver for this one. So that's like the front bumpery guard thingy. Don't really know what you call that. Day 12, we put the first pair of wheels on. Day 13 is much the same. So I think I'll do day 12 and day 13 at the same time. So there's the first 2 screws. And the second 2 screws. And there's the other wheels. Ugh. So these just drop onto little hexagonal shafts to drive the wheels around. Which is good because it means you can stop the shaft from spinning while you drive the screw in, which would be a nightmare otherwise. And last one. So now it's starting to look a little bit more like a car. So we'll move on to day 14. So day 14, simply we get that. That's it. That's the day 14 steps. That's nice and easy. Day 15 is to attach the spare wheel to the, I guess, roll cage. So we've got this big old screw, and this wheel I think just goes, yep, oh, like that. And as long as you don't chuck the screw away. Drive that one in. Really need an electric screwdriver or something for this. So number 16 is to attach the sort of internal gubbage. So we've got this, like the seats, and so that's a fuel tank, there's a fire extinguisher and a shovel. So this goes in, I guess that's the back, that's the front, so it wants to go in that way around. And that drops into a few posts. Then we've got, they've given me a whole shitload of different screws here. And it's not immediately apparent why I've got, so I've got a total of 8 screws. I've got 4 that look the same. There. And I've got another 4 that also all look the same, but they're different altogether, which is really brilliantly clear. Thanks for that, guys. Yeah, it looks like the posts themselves are all flat areas, so I guess I'll use these slightly more pan-headed screws. See how they go. It's not, this is a structural component, so it doesn't really matter as long as it's faintly attached. Oh, I see, right. Rather stupidly, the 4 screws they've given me now are to attach this roll cage to the actual chassis. But we don't use those until day 20, and we're currently at day 16, so got to not lose those screws for 4 days, which fortunately we didn't do. But there we are. So I'll put those back in the bag for now, and we'll come back to them. So now we come on to the decals, which are, I feel like, a little bit of an interesting oversight. So we've got, I guess, the roof. I'll do this so it makes sense for you guys. The roof, the bonnet, and the left and right sides, which must go on the sort of various bits reversed. And they've given us a Christmas and a non-Christmas themed skin for the thing. So I'll bring that around. So, all looks reasonably good, apart from the fact that here they've mirrored the art. So we've got ho 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 and a Santa, and we've got oh 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 and a Santa, which, you know, Santa's famous 2 catchphrases. So yeah, I don't quite know how that got missed, but that's evidently the exceptional amount of effort that they were putting into designing this thing. And I think seeing as it's Christmas, we might as well have the Christmas plates on. Also, rather interestingly, with all of these decal sets, they've given you 8 screws. Now you only need 4 for each piece, so I don't really know why they've given us 8, but they're tiny, so probably for the best. But I have a sneaky suspicion someone at the factory's gone, well, there's 2 different panels here, so you must need screws for all of them. No, of course you don't, but there we are. This is going to be quite a challenge actually, because getting the screws lined up in the holes and driven in, a bit of a faff. Also, because these are not pan-headed screws but countersink screws, they kind of look like shit because they protrude above the top of the material. Oh, thanks for that one, Revel. Couldn't have just made them pin in or something. Piss. This is going to take a while. It only helps know he's put some nice background music on this. It's going to be distinctly unpleasant to watch without it. going to be distinctly unpleasant to watch anyway. If you're really genuinely watching this, then my condolences. Good start. Yeah, and these screws, because the plastic's so soft, aren't actually doing anything. They're just sort of going in enough and then immediately stripping out. Another bag of your screws out. Don't need the rest of it. And that also sort of doesn't really feel very centered or well planned, but actually, like, that looks significantly better thought out and designed. But it's Christmas, well, it's Christmas Eve, so we're having the Christmas themed ones. There you go, that screw's actually done something that time. And if we get it aligned over here, go. And again. Well, we're 75% of the way there. Yep, last one. It's this one. There's the famous Merry Christmas side panel. Oh, and then you put the screwdriver through the table. Nice, nice, nice. Why won't that go in? Is it just... I see, the hole isn't actually properly formed in the plastic. I have to get a little bit barbaric on this one. I'll probably end up stabbing myself in the hand as well. That'd be good. A trip to A&E on Christmas Eve. There we go. That's on. So there's the body. Get rid of the ones we're not using. So that's day 20 part 1. Day 20 part 2 is to put the body on the chassis. I guess if that's the steering, then the front's that way as well. That would make sense. looks about right. Find the set of screws we put aside on day 16. They can go in now. And these lovely awkward holes. Right, very nearly there now. So that's the car assembled. Day 21. Now very exciting 7 AA batteries. I should have brought a knife to open these up with. Let's see if I can manage my hand. Yeah, there we are. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now run the car, probably for all of 15 minutes. And these are for the controller, which we haven't got yet. Day 22 is the battery door for the vehicle. There's no actual instruction showing you that this goes on the vehicle, but I assume we're meant to be able to figure it out. So that goes on, and you're meant to put a screw in, but in reality I'm not going to bother putting a screw in because I'm not a child. I don't need to be protected from the batteries. Day 23 is the battery cover for the remote control itself. And day 24 is the remote control. So we'll take the batteries. Ah! One of them's trapped in the packaging. Typical. Pokey screwdriver time. There we go. So that's that battery door in. And again, we don't need protecting from the batteries because we're not children. There's no children in the house, so I won't bother with the screw. And maybe it's alive. So just steer. And it goes off the table as well. So that's cool. I think we should lose this C marking off the front because it looks kind of shit. Interestingly, they didn't opt to put the UKCA mark on that. Bloody Brexit. But they have got the UKCA mark elsewhere, so weird. Oh, bloody hell. There you go, that certainly tidies it up a little bit. So yes, as Snowy was concerned, it is completely digital control. You've got full speed forward, full speed back, and then full left and right lock, and you can't do anything else apart from that. So I guess we'll clear some space and see if we can get some footage of it running around. So yeah, that's been the Revell Advents Calendar. Now all complete. Complete with the exceptional high quality Yes, wonderful. So, Merry Christmas all. Thank you, Owen, for the calendars and sharing in the incredible drudgery that has been producing stuff for 24 days. And thanks for all the fun. Merry Christmas, stay safe, and we'll see you Baby Christmas 2022. Bye.